Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we are looking at the IWC Portuguese Pure Classic. You can see this ultra-thin, hand-wound IWC Portuguese on our website. Purchase it there. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of this video at any time to see our complete listing for this watch with additional high-resolution photographs, accessories included, and, of course, full pricing details. Now you can see on my wrist 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. This is an exceptionally flat and wearable Portuguese. Now it is traditionally sized, just like the original from 1939. It's far larger and broader than a conventional men's dress watch, 42.5 millimeters across the round of the case, not including the crown. It's also a modern 50 millimeters from lug to opposite lug extremity, but here's where this one really diverges from its brethren in the IWC Contemporary and Classical catalog. This watch is only 7.5 millimeters thick, and with a concave bezel that easily allows any dress cover sleeve to ramp up over the case, it's about as thin and fine as wearable with formal attire and tight sleeves as any Portuguese reference, indeed, perhaps as any large mainstream IWC dress watch ever made. And part of that is because it has impeccable mechanical provenance, because IWC, now part of the Richemont Group, shares the stable with Piaget, a company that bills itself as the master of the ultra-thin. Put them together, and you get this IWC reference 5703-02. Now, it's stainless steel. It is very easy to wear on the wrist and very wieldy. You can see how, despite 50 millimeters from lug to lug, the strong downward thrust of the lugs allows it to curve around a tighter wrist, and there is no constraint with the straight spring bars, so you can simply pull this down and around the tight curve of a small forearm. So as thin and compact as it wears, the fact is the shapes of the lugs, the flexibility of the strap, make it even more friendly and attainable on a smaller wrist. Now, it does feature a very substantial clasp. For such a slight case, it has a very robust, single deployant, fully finished, brushed and polished, interior matte finished and branded IWC deployant clasp. Closes with a crisp snap. It's in outstanding condition to match a beautiful, minimally bolstered, rectangular scale alligator leather strap with a monotone stitch and folded sides. It is a very traditional presentation with the exception of the large clasp, more of a modern styling accent. Everything here feels exceptionally mid-20th century. Now, the dial is a study in effective minimalism. It's not austere, rather, it's warm, it's plain, it makes the most from the least number of highlights. You can see the highlights include the use of applied rose gold indices and Arabic numerals on a beautiful matte black backdrop. Now, it has a minimalist IWC printed marquee and Schaffhausen notation at 12 o'clock with a classical railroad track style minute track, interrupted only by the Swiss-made notation at 6 o'clock. The watch is legible, it's classically proportioned, it's beautifully detailed, and with all applied elements on the dial, it definitely has an upscale appearance. Now, some Portuguese references feature embossed numerals and indices, not here. Even under a loop, you can see the exceptional application of numeral and adhesive yields no runoff, no excess, no misalignments. These are beautifully placed. This watch, despite the fact that it does have a solid case back, nevertheless does reward the use of a loop to appreciate its finer craftsmanship details. Now, the hands at center are very traditional. Rose gold, foy, or leaf style hands in the grand tradition of the Portuguese series. Now, the caseback notes that this is a limited edition, one of 500 made in the Pure Classic series. I will bring my trusty polishing cloth into the equation, and you can see the embossed caseback image of a sextant for navigation. This is an IWC Portuguese, but not a conventional one, and you can see from that profile that whatever's inside must be special. And indeed, the Piaget caliber 830, here doing business as the IWC caliber 6260, is a remarkable piece, only 2.5 millimeters thick. This manual wind ultra-thin caliber nevertheless has an abundant 61-hour power reserve, so you wind the watch every other day, and it is a pleasure. It winds beautifully. The tactile sensation, the dull click, click, click of the detents of the click wheel. It's a true pleasure. It's something that you're going to enjoy doing every other day. You may even look forward to it. It's a gorgeous piece, and yes, it does have modern sophistications, including a free-sprung balance, but a nice traditional stately beat rate of 21,600 vibrations per hour. This 19-jewel movement is a gem in and of itself, in a unique reference that represents the best of what IWC's tradition has to offer, especially in the iconic Portuguese range. This is a prince among Portuguese models. And it's easy to say that when you can take a watch that represents the best of a brand's iconic line, you're looking at something like the quintessential IWC. You can see it and you can purchase it on our website.